This is a supercar. Is this a supercar? We're going to get into it. Stay tuned. You're going to get triggered. So I have bought myself a American Corvette C8, the 8th generation of the Corvette, from the C1 to the C7, but this is the C8, new style supercar. I think so. Naturally aspirated V8, naturally aspirated V8. Obviously that's a little bit older, but Ferraris are doing turbos and hybrids now. So supercar. Honestly, we want you getting involved, because what is a supercar? It's subjective. It's the badge, perhaps. We don't know, but Scoot, you're going to get involved.
I am more already swaying towards that the Corvette is a...
Because what is your dream car? Yes, I'm dressed up as quintessential vet man. This is not a political message, it's just an outfit.
Yeah.
Right, Josh is the oracle or anything of supercars and hypercars. Recently we were in Germany, and a question came up, what is a hypercar? And it got heated.
It's a hard one. I think it's more my generation now. You guys didn't have hypercars. You had supercars, your F40, 959 Miura. My generation, we've now got the P1 LaFerrari and 918.
By the end of this, you have to stay tuned, because we are going to make a decision.
100%.
And the decision has to come from you, your generation. I want to know, is the Corvette, because we've had so many comments about why did you come out of a Lamborghini Murcielago for that? Well, there's a lot of reasons. I covered them in the last video, but financially, we had a lot of money tied up in the Murcielago. As well as the cost of running and everything else. And we've got so many builds. We've got 5 cars in build this year, finishing and starting, etc., that we need the money liquid. I need to invest in a business for the events. And this, for me,
it is very cool. But behind me is my dream car. Here we go. Naturally aspirated V8 Ferrari 458. I grew up with this, my poster car. And we're going to compare both of them.
This is 14 years old.
Yes.
We've chosen to put these two against each other. It's 14 years old versus 2022 versus 2011.
Correct.
Do you feel it's a fair comparison?
I think it is.
Because for me, we could have got a 488, but they're turboed. We could have got an SF90, but they're
I think it's a
hybrid.
naturally aspirated.
And personally, there's a Corvette Z06 coming out, which personally is as good as or better than the SF90 XX, which is supposed to be hypercar levels.
We did have a sneak peek earlier comparing the two, and it's not looking good for what I said. I think you might be right, yes.
Oh, look, we're going to do facts and stats. So for you guys out there watching this, hit those comments. Make sure you like and subscribe as well, because I've been dressing up today.
Yeah, do you know what? I think you should just like the cheeriest outfit right now.
First up, we've got a 10-point plan. First up is engine and power put. Scoot, what have you got?
Right, so I've got a naturally aspirated V8 that produces 570 brake horsepower.
Okay, but you've got 4.5 litre naturally aspirated.
Correct.
Mine's 6.2 litre naturally aspirated V8. Same 6.2 litre as the Murcielago.
Fair enough.
But I'm only putting out 495 brake horsepower. However, the Ferrari makes more horsepower, but the Corvette has significantly more torque at a lower RPM, which makes it more responsive.
Interesting.
In real world driving. But is that the 14-year difference between the two, perhaps?
Exactly. Newer cars have got that.
Slightly more horsepower, slightly more torque.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Level?
I think we can say level because of the age difference.
Supercar. Let's go. Next. Acceleration, what have you got? And I will give you this. This is older. But what have you got?
This is just from Google research. 0 to 60 miles per hour is around 3 seconds.
Okay. Mine is the Corvette C8 with the Z51 performance package, and it is 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Therefore faster.
I can't deny it. I mean,
I've got to say
fair
at
enough.
this point, we've had people register for supercar shows at the Sharnbrook, and I would get a 600 brake horsepower Astra van register. It's been built. It's fantastic. But it's still an Astra van. It's not a supercar.
It's a supercar. Yep, very
However,
true.
we've also had friends with twin turbo Lamborghinis with 1500 brake horsepower. That's not a hypercar.
Look at these M3 and M4s. They're producing like 1,000 brake horsepower.
Sports cars.
Absolutely. I agree with you with that.
Okay.
Maybe not the C8 yet. Yeah.
Top speed.
Here we go. 202.
Yeah. 194. So you're faster.
Okay.
It's faster. It's 194.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So I've got a 7-speed dual clutch.
Yes. I've got an 8-speed dual clutch. That's 1 gear more. But
Fair enough.
It's
fair
a
enough.
newer transmission,
Yep.
it's a newer car, but that extra gear gives me
all
more
this new
efficiency and
technology.
performance, which is why I'm getting like 26 miles per gallon.
Yep. Thing is though, when we compare both of these, I've got a black 458, but Cherry's got the stunning blue C8, which already stands out. And I think we should include supercars have to have that wow factor. If you drive down Mount Street in Mayfair, who's going to turn around and look? Who's going to be waving? Who's going to be taking photos? And out of these two, you cannot deny the C8 would get more attention. That's that's coming from me.
Spotters, hit in the comments. Handling and chassis. Let me tell you a little bit about the 458. It is mid-engine rear-wheel drive.
Yep.
Adaptive suspension, advanced aerodynamics. Now, for the first time, and this is why, for the first time, I do class the Corvette as a supercar, because up to the C1 to the C7, the engine's always been in the front.
Yep.
V8, LS,
Yes.
the engine has jumped to the back. So for
enough.
the first time, it's no longer a muscle car. For the first time, the C8 has brought it into supercar category.
And
same.
That is
rear
such a
engine
good
layout.
point, because any Corvette before, muscle car or American car, and this is where I'm tipping over the edge. Yeah, the C8 kind of does get that supercar title.
At this point, let's ask a few friends what they think.
I agree.
Oh, there he is.
Chiro.
The man, the legend, the oracle of petrolheads. Is the Corvette C8 a supercar or a sports car?
Yo. Okay, so that's a good question. I'm slightly biased, so I love the Corvette, right?
Okay.
It's one of my favorite cars of all time. That's what actually got me into cars full stop back in the
Oh,
day.
okay.
Yeah, so I love the Corvette. Is it a supercar though? So not the old ones, but like say from I'd say C5, C6, C7. At the time, they might have felt like supercars, but
Okay.
looking back, I wouldn't call them supercars. I call them sports cars.
Yeah, cool.
And then the other thing you got to remember though, so we got the new C8. Some people, what they like to do is supercars have to have 500 horsepower, and they must go 200 miles an hour. The thing about the C8 Stingray, it's just under that, isn't it? It's like 495-ish.
495 and it's 194, 196 something.
See, so it falls just short, right? With my biased hat on, I'm going to say it's got one thing going for it that definitively makes it a supercar, mid-engined.
For me, the engine going from the front to the back makes it a supercar for the first time. That's my bias as well.
The other thing they did, Chevy, they actually, to make this car, I think they bought a 458 engine off eBay, the engineers, and reverse engineered it. So actually the engine in the C8 Corvette is inspired by the one in the 458.
Adam Nardoni, Koenigsegg London, sells hypercars for a living. Oh my God. I've got a question for you. Is the Corvette C8 a supercar?
No. I don't know, mate. I don't think if you ask
What's behind you, a mega car or a hypercar?
it's a mega car.
Yeah, so just made that up. Okay, so why is the Corvette not a supercar?
You put me on the spot here now, mate.
Right, we've got it head to head with a 458. Is a 458 a supercar?
Yes, it is.
So the Corvette C8 is faster 0 to 60. It's got
mid-engined.
more torque, but less brake horsepower. V8 naturally aspirated, both of them. Braking is better on the C8. Mid-engined.
Mid-engined. I think the mid-engine thing is important. Yeah, it's a good-looking car.
Right, so what you're saying is the brand name and the badge don't fit.
The traditional model of the supercar.
We'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you.
Arnold, where are you?
Good, man. What's going on? I'm in my garage. I got a new one.
What's going on?
Literally arrived an hour ago. 458, still here, still the queen. And then now I've got the Artura, 2025 Artura. So if anyone's not familiar with what this is, it's a twin turbo V6 hybrid, 700 horsepower, McLaren, and you can plug it in.
You're East Coast, you're America, and we're in the middle of a debate. You're on our YouTube video right now. You've got supercars, and the fact you've got a 458 right there right now, we've got a 458 here right now. The question isn't, is the Corvette? It's, is the Corvette C8 a supercar?
Okay, so I feel like this definition of supercar changes constantly. Is it a supercar? Z06, absolutely.
No, that's nearly a hypercar.
C8, it's ZR1's a hypercar now because it's got like 1,000 horsepower. Z06 is a supercar just because it sounds kind of like this, you know, and it handles like this. And Z06s are freaking epic. The C8, like a standard C8, it was, I think, a supercar, but because they just keep making so many of them, you know, it has all the recipes of a supercar, right? The engine's over here, it's in the middle. The doors don't quite do, you know, what these doors do. You know, this is one of the staples. The other staple is to have an engine with a red cover on it like that, or the little red head, right? The intake manifold's all beautiful. That's another staple. I mean, you gotta, there's so many things that justify what a supercar is. I think the C8 was a supercar when it first debuted, but there's so much stuff that's come out since then. And it's like, it's crazy that a car that can do about 120 miles in a quarter mile is no longer considered a supercar. That's just, it's so insane to me that this is how fast technology has evolved supercars these days. I think, like I said, so 4 or 5 years ago when the C8 first came out, absolutely. Anytime C8s came into my shows, actually even to this day when C8s come to my shows, they still get supercar parking because they're still pretty cool. You know, it's a Corvette with the engine in the middle, you know. So overall, I say yes, for the most part, C8s are supercars.
Right, we're here with Dan, local mechanic. And
local mechanic, yeah.
Is the Corvette a supercar?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What? Okay, for you, what does it make? You're a Porsche guy. What does it make? What makes it a supercar?
This is over my Porsche, so yeah, definitely. Well, look
there you go.
You've only got to look at it for one. The inside, the spec of it, the engine, on paper as well. It's more powerful, isn't it, than a lot of supercars that are out there. So I'd say, yeah, it's got to be.
Some people are getting triggered watching this video. Hit us in the comments. What do you think? So, they're mixed, aren't they? They don't know. Rory Reed, Dan, the local mechanic.
I don't know what to say. But one of my good mates, Freddie, who also owns a 458, I thought his
CFJJ.
points were very, very.
Yeah.
What I think. I mean, he's not wrong. You go to America, they are like taxis out there. We saw so many in Vegas.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
But here they're like hypercars. You just don't see them anywhere. So.
Only 400 right-hand drives-ish in 2022. Not all of those came to the UK.
Oh, there you go.
And there's even a smaller percentage of these in Rapid Blue. Ultimately, I haven't bought this as a. I've bought this to be different. You know what we do with
look at you. Look at you.
I know. Braking performance. Right. So where are you at with braking performance?
The Ferrari 458. 107 feet.
Okay. The Corvette C8, normally 97 feet, so beats you by 10 feet difference.
Oh.
Quicker braking, elite braking performance, but we've had upgraded discs on this as well, so it's probably even better still. Again, I'm even going to fight the corner for the Ferrari.
Yeah.
It is a newer car, 11 years different.
I think you have to
better
say that.
tech,
Yep.
But it's there, supercar.
Fair enough.
Nürburgring
This is
lap
a good
time.
one. Oh, no.
Where are you at? We could take these to the Nürburgring right now.
Oh,
this is the times if we could drive.
They say 7 minutes, 32.92 seconds.
C8, 7 minutes 29 and 90. That's 3 seconds faster.
Oh,
I know there's someone writing messages in the comments right now just absolutely roasting us for even considering that could be a supercar.
Or they're just saying it's still a sports
Some
car.
people that hate on it, but there we go.
You can't deny.
Price and value, how much was yours new?
All right, so 458 new was around $200,000, that is.
$239,000.
Yep.
Starts at $66,000 for a C8.
That's a huge difference.
That's not even sports car money though.
No.
If you think about it, that is like a 50,000, a brand new Kia's 50,000.
And that's a new car.
Yeah, brand new.
Wow, I think that's probably the biggest difference we've had.
Everyday usability, which is ultimately why I bought this.
Yep.
We can get out like we did with Ophelia.
Absolutely,
10,000
yep.
miles in a year. We've got out to loads of events
Yep.
here. We've done 1,500 miles already because we're running it in.
Yeah. I honestly
Ferrari
think.
458, can you daily it?
I think both cars, absolutely. I really do think you can daily it. Probably more the C8.
Well, C8's even more dailyable
Oh,
because I've got a front and a trunk for my golf
true.
gear in the back, and I've got my suitcase in the front.
Yeah, you're off
It's
to
pretty
18
epic.
holes after this. Right.
What's the final verdict? I'm going to read you this.
Go
from
for it.
Mine.
Go on.
The C8 is absolutely a supercar, rivaling and even surpassing the Ferrari 458 in several key performance metrics. Faster 0 to 60 time, Better braking performance, Nürburgring lap time advantage, newer tech and better transmission.
Oh God.
Much more affordable and practical. While the Ferrari 458 remains a legendary exotic,
My
the
poster
C8
car.
proves that an American supercar can match and even outperform one of the Ferrari's best at a fraction of the price. But let's say it ticks all the boxes.
Yep.
Ticks all the performance boxes. You have an issue with the badge.
It's the Corvette badge. I just can't. Yeah, it's the badge for me. Stick a McLaren badge on this car. It's a proper supercar. It's the badge. It's the Corvette badge. Where do you stand with that?
It's a supercar at sports car money. You have got sports cars that are like the Alpine
Yeah.
A110.
Yeah.
It's a great sports car.
Absolutely.
Most Porsches are sports cars.
Yeah.
The GT cars are supercars. It's such a subjective fine line. I am not triggered or bothered if somebody wants to refer to it as a sports car.
Yep.
In my mind, it does everything I bought it for.
Yeah,
and
100%,
what we
yeah.
need it for.
Absolutely.
It turns heads, it's different, it's rare.
can't deny it.
Ferruccio Lamborghini, Bruce McLaren and Enzo Ferrari had a three-way love child and created the Corvette C8.
Can't deny it on paper. Gone through facts and figures, and if you look at it, we had a good drive today, good speeds, and I put a big smile on my face.
You did actually, at one point, where the roof down, I drove on a private road up to 130 miles an
Yep.
hour. The exhaust was screaming.
Oh, it sounded
And
incredible.
you said,
I did
this is
say it.
every inch the supercar.
I did say it.
So, final verdict, ladies and gents. Scoot.
I hate to say it, but that behind me, I think has to be a supercar. I've said it. It's a supercar.